Thank you so much for joining us today, Danielle. I'm so grateful that you are here and that you are here to share with us a little bit about how you found yourself while choosing to travel off to Bali. So if you could tell us a little bit about that, I would be so grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. This is such a great experience. So at the end of a string of unfulfilling jobs and relationships, while my friends were off chasing the next great promotion, career, partner, and kids, what I thought to be the Western definition of success, I decided to, like you said, go to Bali, to Southeast Asia to find myself. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, it was quite the experience.
And how long were you gone for?
So it was 2.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. A little background there. So I had some of those big changes that had come up, and I really felt like it was now or never. I was just about to go down a very set path with set things in life that wouldn't have allowed me the flexibility and the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get a sabbatical from work to be able to go on this opportunity. And it all started from wanting to do a yoga retreat.
Okay.
First to do yoga in like Costa Rica or something. And then it was actually my hairdresser that mentioned she had always thought about Bali. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, it would just like put that reminder in my mind that was like such a sanctuary for yoga. And then everything else started to build on that. So I didn't know it all at the beginning of how it was going to unfold. But those pieces kept growing as I kept putting that vision out there.
That's so amazing. So I have to ask, how did you know, we've talked a little bit about, there's a lot of noise that goes on, right? When we're making these big decisions. And like you said, kind of going against the Western definition of success, everyone is kind of going this route, and you decided to, really tune into yourself and decide that this is something you wanted. What are some of the things that you said to yourself or kind of committed to in order to take that big jump? Because I can say for most of us, that's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely. And I would say a few different things there. One would be, I'm definitely the type of person, once I'm committed to something and once I have an idea, when I'm passionate, and I believe this about everybody, when you're really passionate about something and it's igniting something within you that sets you on fire, I believe that you can't not think about that. It became the thing that I woke up thinking about. I went to sleep thinking about. I was researching the nights I couldn't sleep, looking up more resources, more other people who had done something similar. I didn't know them necessarily, but on the internet, and
Mm-hmm.
how much Google is right at our fingertips. So it became a little bit of an obsession, I would say, in a sense of just wanting to know more about it, so that I could prepare myself and make that more comfortable.
So for our listeners who may have some of these passions or, are either committing to that passion of traveling or are trying to quiet it down, what's the one thing you would say to them in order for them to really trust or for them to really know whether it is just a thing of the time or whether it's truly meant to be? Would you have any kind of wisdom to share around that?
I would say I became really open to the signs. And
Okay.
I would say for people to really just start to pay attention, even put it out there if they're universe type people who are listening, to say, show me a sign, give me a sign. Because what I found for me kept happening was one thing after another. I'd be at a family reunion and then I'd get reminded that one of my uncles had traveled to Southeast Asia years ago. And
Mm.
something I didn't hear for probably 15, 20 years. It was never a thought on my mind. And then all of a sudden I start thinking about Bali and Southeast Asia, and boom, there's my uncle. And then I went to a bridal shower, and I was meeting somebody who was just about to take off on a 6-month adventure to Southeast Asia. So it was really, really being open to signs.
Right.
And the more signs that kept coming, I couldn't ignore them anymore. So I would really encourage listeners to start putting it out there and focusing on it, and be open to signs that are guiding you towards your answer, because I really believe that there is a lot of that out there once we become aware of it. And before I had this dream, I wouldn't have been aware of it, but once I got that idea in mind, I couldn't stop the signs. Like everything was just coming to me so quickly.
That's so powerful. And I think it's such a great reminder too, because I really kind of come from the mindset that we can only achieve the things that we want because we think them. Like there's a reason why you could achieve that, because you had all the resources inside, you had the dreams. Like it was truly a calling for you. You know what I mean? And so I think we've really got to tune in and really pay attention to some of that stuff. So I love that you said to ask for the signs and to really pay attention to the signs, because that's pretty powerful. And I think it definitely validates, you know, what it is that you want versus what it is that you should be doing. So you're over in Bali for 2.5 months. I'm assuming you're doing retreats and you're journaling and you've got a lot of silence and time to yourself. What did you learn? What was the biggest thing that you were able to take away from all of that time?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that really stuck with me the rest of the way was getting out there and getting quiet, having previously been a people pleaser and really cared a lot about how my decisions would impact other people and gearing them towards that. It was when I was one morning after a yoga session and we had done some journaling and reflecting, and I just realized nobody else is going to make life decisions for me anymore, and nobody else has to live with the decisions. So I need to be happy with the choices I'm making to craft my life moving forward, because I'm the one that has to live it. So
Wow.
in that moment, you know, like mom, friends, family, like they love me and, you know, they'll support me. And at the end of the day, I have to make myself happy, because if I'm not happy, then who am I living this life for, really?
Ooh, that is so powerful. I have goosebumps everywhere right now. Honestly, because you really getting away from the noise and really choosing to believe that you get to design this life. And at the end of the day, the only person that matters is you. So that is truly, truly inspiring. So you get back from being away for so long. What was that like?
It was interesting. I remember before getting back thinking, how am I going to go back to westernized culture? I just have appreciation for living with less, and
Yeah.
a lot of eye-opening things that had happened. So I was really I was really open to see what would happen. Um, and how I showed up when I got back was, it was just a game changer. I knew I wouldn't be going back to the career that I had left on sabbatical for. And it
Mm-hmm.
started to be a matter of getting creative, because I obviously couldn't jump into new things right away without new skills, new resources. So it was really getting the mentors and the coaches like yourself and
Mm-hmm.
other leaders who I was aspiring to be like. And I really believe that all the best coaches have coaches, and there's no value like finding a coach who's been where you want to go and then providing a roadmap for you, because I think we can get so much further so much quicker if we have the support of others who have been down a similar path to our own, and who can show us where to look, so to speak, without telling us what to see, so that we can still make our own decisions in life with that guidance.
So ultimately, you had to surround yourself with people who believed in you and believed in what you wanted to achieve, because I think it can be really overwhelming to come back and have grown so much, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, and really not really, well, you know what I mean? Like not really know what it is that you wanted, or how, you know, the typical, how is it all going to come together? And so I can really truly appreciate being able to surround yourself with mentors and coaches who really have nothing but your best interest at heart. Yes?
Absolutely. And that being said, the circle that I I spent my time with changed drastically. I love this one quote that says, "You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with."
Absolutely. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, so it just, yeah, it changed drastically. And it's not like it was really noticeable to me until we're even talking about it now and I'm looking back. And
Right.
yeah, right away, I started attracting people in my life that were right on the same page as me.
So after all of this, I'm such a huge, passionate person about self-love and really simplifying self-love. And so through the journey, the before and the during and the after, like you've truly gone ahead and lived your life on purpose. And I truly honor and appreciate that you are living exactly how you want and you are modeling that for those. We all have those challenging times and the difficult times, but on your good and your bad days, what do you think is the one thing, the one strategy, the one habit, the one action step that you commit to taking daily in order to ensure that you are, being your best self?
One action step. I just need a minute to think about this one.
I know it's a big one, right? Because I do think that we're constantly taking care of ourselves. I mean, we've grown so much and we've got to be responsible for that. But what is the one thing that you remember to do for you so that you can continue, living your life on purpose?
Yeah, I would say it would be to continually ask myself every day, is this taking me more towards what I want? And
Nice.
am I doing these things because I want to, out of, wanting to help others and wanting to achieve for myself and finding that balance, and really, really having to ask myself that to make sure that I'm still on that path and I'm not slipping into old patterns.
Nice. So the self-awareness and just really committing to knowing truly what it is that you want.
Yes, exactly. Because I couldn't ask myself that if I didn't outline what I wanted and what I was moving towards and what I was living for. What are my standards of integrity, and
Mm.
am I, what are my passions and what do I want for myself? Because then I'm able to continue down that path and ask that question because I've answered those tough questions to begin with.
And so would you describe that as, choosing to show up as your best friend, choosing to be kind to yourself, like, knowing what you want, knowing to take action towards that, and ultimately knowing why, how would you describe that? Like, what does that mean for you?
I would say it's reconnecting to that self love and back to, you know, remembering myself. I think it can get really, like, we all have our moments where life gets crazy and, there's a lot going on. And I think at the end of the day, to be able to get silent and remember who we are and
Hmm.
remember to love ourselves at the end of the day. Like, you know?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you brought up the standards of integrity. I strongly recommend the book for our listeners, The Energy of Money by Maria Nemeth. And she talks about our standards of integrity. And I have to say, for me, when I first started out with that, it was such a great opportunity for me to really take time to discover what's important to me instead of what's important to society or the Western world or friends and family. Really sitting down for myself and saying, these are the qualities, this is what I am standing for, and having something to kind of reference back as like what you're saying, is this going towards what I want? And I think it takes a lot of self-compassion and commitment to self in order to take action on that. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Mhm.
So, for our listeners, if there is one thing, one sentence, one phrase, one action step that you would encourage them to take today, what would it be?
I think about something that's helped in the really big moments in life for me would be to ask yourself two-part question. What would happen if I did, and what would happen if I didn't?
Ooh, say that one more time so they can write that down.
So what would happen if I did?
Yeah.
And what would happen if I didn't? And that was the game changer for Asia for me. Somebody
Wow.
had me write my answer to those two things, and I couldn't imagine what life would be like without doing it. So
Wow. That is so huge. And such an inspired action step. Like, I really do think that that is something, you know, we could encourage ourselves to do different tomorrow. You know, like, I could wake up tomorrow and say to myself, I really need to reflect on these two questions and really trust what comes out, because that's probably, you know, my unconscious mind or my highest self, whichever one you want to say. That is powerful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that one.
yeah, absolutely.
So is there anything else you want our listeners to know about you today? Where are you now?
In life?
Yeah, like, are you off to travel more? Where are you and what are you working towards?
Sure, yeah. So I've been in my own business for just under a year now, and there were times where I never saw that happening. So there's been a lot of growth and a lot of amazing things to come from the travel and my coaching experiences.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's flourishing. I'm living a harmonized life. I'm dating, and I'm setting intentions to travel to Portugal sometime within the next year. So that's next on my list, is Europe somewhere, as far as
Cool.
travels go, and just really enjoying the little moments in life and really being present.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing, and for inspiring action to everyone who's listening. Well, I'm so, so grateful. I hope to have you back for sure. Maybe we'll get you back on after you come back from Europe. That would be so cool. And thank you so much for joining, and we will talk soon, love.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today. I would love to hear from you. Please share your comments below. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to follow me on Instagram. You can do so at _Nicole_Weston_. You can also follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to take your self-care and self-love practices to the next level, I invite you to check out my Love Me membership community. Inside, you'll have access to resources for self-love. There's going to be videos, coaching audios, tip sheets, all there for you to begin this self-love journey on your own time. If you want to know more or how you can get a free 30-day trial, you can send me an email, info@NicoleWeston.ca. Thinking of you and sending you so much love.